Hey everyone, I want to talk about business irrational beliefs, the ones that I fell into, why that the world that we're moving into with many people, very successful individuals, are doing a very good job at convincing people about the realities of business that have time, things that have been tested throughout time and have stood the test of time for a very, very long time. Why I would be very wary about 99.999% of all individuals, regardless of their levels of success on business, outside of potentially people like Ray Dalio. I would say Ray Dalio is one of the only individuals very much worth listening to from a business perspective on social media, because he talks about the reality of long-term change. Right before I made this video, I just was looking at someone who many people know their name, and they have this master class, and they were saying, I can help you crush habits and procrastination in 4 weeks. Absolutely fucking nonsense. There are not many people on the planet that work with as many countries, personalities, cultural backgrounds as us at OCD Recovery. Yes, there is a mental health suffering aspect to that, but they are still humans. And even though they have a disorder, most people do not make major changes in weeks or even a month or two. And every time I've tried to do this, it has really, really been a kick up the ass for me to look at the realities of life. So before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this. We have that direct message link, by the way, with Phil, and we can get you in here as quickly as possible. Almost all of my January slots are basically filled, but I try to work with people since I've expanded my hours through all mornings and nights, and really trying to get as many people in with help from personal lived experience that we do at OCD Recovery as we can. Excuse me. And let's dive right into it. So business irrational beliefs are always around the fear of failure, rejection, self-rejection, and other rejection, the fear of going broke, and every other fear of what if I build something successful, then I lose it all, which is primarily fear of fear. But the biggest problem is that people attach their identities to their looks. And we have a lot of people, a lot of CEOs, women have a lot of plastic surgery, talking about acceptance of their business, when you know for a fact that they don't have acceptance whatsoever. They have what I like to call fake acceptance, which I had the majority of my life. So I understand and sympathize with a lot of these individuals, men and women alike, who really struggle with that. So it's very difficult to have unconditional acceptance when you're getting a lot of plastic surgery and getting a lot of taking a lot of anabolic steroids, even taking HRT, hormone replacement therapy. You do not accept yourself for who you are. So and then people go down, well, that's, I have all this. And those are the type of people nowadays, CEOs, and they're screaming at you from cameras, etc. And why would you listen to me over someone else? I'm not some multimillionaire, and I don't have all the success, but I have many other forms of success. I have peace of mind. I have fears of broken down of rejection, which are much, much lower, and everything else in between from that. So I definitely have a thing or two to teach people because of my long, outstanding journey with OCD at the level I suffer that. So the biggest problem from a behavioral standpoint is the inability to cultivate patience and consistency. Anything I've done in my life that has given me results in my life that have been substantial have taken a really, really long time. And they certainly weren't 30 days, and they certainly weren't a month or two. So in Ray Dalio's Principles book, he talks about that most behaviors take 18 months to shift with pure consistency day in, day out for 18 months. That sounds a little bit different than 30 days or 60 days or 2 weeks or whatever else people are peddling you. The behaviors that you're looking to change in business are much more substantial than the other behaviors, such as, do you brush your teeth twice a day? Do you floss? Do you walk your dogs? Do you make your bed? Those behaviors in of themselves are meaningless, but when added together will add up to your ability to handle the adaptability and long working hours required to give you some sort of success. Now, this video is geared towards superficial types of success, so monetary success, accolades, achievements, whether that's titles behind you, PhD, medical doctor, chiropractor, physical therapist, accountant, lawyer, etc. And then all of the potential monetary success that can come from that. That's what this video is based on. Now, you see all sorts of people over social media talking about that they have $1 million, they have $10 million, they make this. No one knows if that's true or not. We don't need to know, but the reality is it's probably not true than most people. It's very easy to talk. I lied a lot about the figures of what I did in my life when it came to sleeping with women. I lied a lot about those numbers. I lied a lot about success. I lied about anything you could lie about. Anything that had to do with money, success, and accolades. I remember in Cairo school, I would lie to people and say that I already had a PhD in another field. I did a lot of lying because I was afraid of rejection and I wanted people to accept me. And that is the truth. And I'm not ashamed by saying that. Shame and guilt, healthy dosages come to motivate you to change. Chronic shame and guilt only come from strong, rigid beliefs. And those are very prevalent in business. So if you are working at a goal, it's important to realize that that goal will take a lot longer for most people. It's pros and cons in certain areas of business now that we have the internet and AI and technology. So in certain ways, there are a lot of things, but there's a lot of individuals out there, a lot of the people like, the big names that we all know. I'm not going to name drop in this, but the big businessmen and women who have social media accounts, they make everything out to be a lot easier than it really is. It's not glamorous and it's not sexy, and there's a lot of behind the work scenes that no one sees. Phone calls, things you don't want to do, billing, working with CPAs, working with attorneys. I know on social media it looks really nice that someone's in a jet and they're flying around and having you buy their programs, but that's not really what's needed. No one ever needs a business mentorship in order to be successful. What they need is action. I'm not saying that business mentorships aren't beneficial. They just don't do for people what most people believe because we're so short-sighted today. And we want everything now. Now. It all is adding together. The social media, the OCD recovery, the business, the relationship, all wanting these things in the moment right now, but that's not how it works. When I look at myself and where I was 3-4 years ago compared to where I am now, there was a lot of change, but I work much longer hours. I sacrifice a lot. I don't really go out that much. I do things when I'm tired. Today's a great example. I've been up for a while and it's almost 5 p.m. And I try to get my YouTube video in before I leave my house, but I had a couple other meetings today, so it was a little bit hard to get in. So I got this in. And people say, hey, it's not really that difficult to make a YouTube video. You're correct. But I make YouTube videos almost 365 days a year for years now. And that's not an easy thing to do. It's comfortable. I'm making a video in my car, but I wouldn't say it's easy. Plus with all the other content. It's not actually sexy. It doesn't sell well. It's just, okay, I have 38 minutes right now before the next thing I have to do, going into someone's house over here. I got here a little bit early before my last appointment. Let me turn my phone on and make a video. That doesn't take any forethought. It takes action. And that's what business is about. It's considerable action. It's not reading books. Reading books is important. I read every day. I try to read every day. But that's not what brings you to success. What brings you to success, well, it's a piece of success. What brings you to success is taking action, not listening to the influencers out there telling you things are going to be easy. And these are the things that really held me back because it's not easy. It's very, very lonely. And there's a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons. When you come across long-term business success, again, this is a business video, so we could talk a little bit more about money. You might have more disposable income. You might be able to do things, but it might not be as much as you want. So even when you look at the most successful people on earth to get to where they are, let's say Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk's of the world, or the Gary V's or whoever, or women, I'm just using guys, for example, Ray Dalio's. There's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors that you didn't see. And that was day in, day out work over and over and over and over and over again to achieve their goals. And that was really tough for me to stomach in the beginning because I realized in order to give myself a better possibility in an unconditional way, I don't need those things. I could change my mind at any moment. But to reach those goals, I was going to have to sacrifice a lot, especially hours of my life. But a good sacrifice. I like it. I'm working for things that give myself a personal meaning because I don't believe in universal meanings. I don't believe in good and bad people. I just believe in people and acts that they do for a multitude of different reasons. So this is what I choose to do. I think it's very difficult. It's always good to do videos later on in the day for me too. It goes to show you that I'm not always like super hyper all the time. Even when I do this video, I'd probably say I'm more hyper than most people. But I'm a human being who gets tired, who has to force myself to do things just like the rest of you. So it's good to show you videos at this time of day when you're like, oh, it's so easy for Nick and this and that. It's not. It's difficult. I'm a human. I have to make sacrifices. But You are going to have to look at the belief that success is not as easy as 99% of the people on social media are telling you. It's not as easy as waking up at 4 in the morning and taking an ice bath and getting your morning structure. It's also not as easy as people telling you morning structure doesn't matter at all. I hear that from other big influencers. It's bouncing the other way. Morning structure and morning routine have a great influence on your life in a balanced way. I have a good structure. I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, I go home, I have a healthy breakfast, and I start working right away. And I do some work before I go to the gym too. I answer some emails or look at WhatsApp messages right when I open my eyes at 4:55 in the morning. So I do things like that. So really think about this. Really slow down your need for success in the moment. Take it day by day. And just realize most things don't need immediate change. One of the biggest problems I see in people in business is they're always adapting too much. Change this, change that, change this, change that. If something is working, don't change it. Yes, be aware. Yes, understand that things will probably have to change and adapt. It doesn't mean you have to change things in the moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see down below. Look for that direct message of Phil. Take your time whether you're in business or not. This is just a business irrational belief for people who are business owners or contractors, whatever you may do. But you can apply these same principles to a W-2, which is called Employee in America, etc. So always a pleasure. Have a good one, everyone.